By day, Eccles may seem like your normal, quiet Kentish village. But by night, something happens here and in other houses across the country that could save the British music scene as we know it.
Small venues are in trouble at the moment. Had it not been for the Cajon Club, the Beatles wouldn't have been here. Had it not been for the Marquee in London, the Rolling Stones wouldn't have happened.
Over the past 10 years, 40% of small music venues have closed in London and the South East. And with gentrification, rising rents and business rates soaring, the venues left behind are struggling to stay open.
They're vital, and they're not just places where music starts. They're places where people start to develop ideas. And if you don't have those small venues, then where are these creative people going to go?
The answer seems to be living rooms. So we're going to find out if staying in, albeit in someone else's home, is the new going out. Anna is getting ready for the gig this evening. Not at the O2 or the Wembley Arena, but in her very own home.
I started hosting house gigs about 2.25 years ago because I really missed having a social life and I really miss live music. I'm a single parent who lives in a village with really poor transport links and I just miss being able to have a night out. Ta-da! It's a very intimate experience. It's so enriching and connecting, and that's kind of irreplaceable for a musician, that actual genuine coming together of hearts, minds, spirits and music. You have to be there to feel it.
The band has just arrived in Eccles. So who is headlining Anna's living room this Saturday night?
I'd say it's probably the smallest venue that I've ever played.
As part of a band, Clea has played some massive gigs from Bestival to the Wicker Man.
I got a few lucky breaks, done some recording, worked in an electronica band for a while, toured with Jar Wobble, went around America, Europe.
Clea has hit the dizzying heights of playing major festivals in front of thousands. So why does she want to play a front room in Eccles?
When I first heard about house gigs, I thought it was a cool idea, but I didn't think it was for me.
Since going solo and having to promote her own music, Clea has found there are fewer venues to play now. So she decided it was time to give house gigs a go.
It took me about a year of Anna asking me to do this one to get convinced.
Yeah, she's a right diva. No, she isn't. She's incredibly busy and brilliant gigging musician. Yeah, I'm delighted that she's coming to play.
What finally made me say yes to it was just really wanting a listening audience.
May I just pop that in there? Sorry.
Anna's house gigs are invite only. Legally, she's not allowed to sell tickets, so she asks for a voluntary donation towards the cost of the artist and a jacket potato. You're probably wondering by now if Anna has understanding neighbours.
For me, it's visiting a house. I haven't got massive expenses, so I'm not trekking up to London. I'm not doing a massive gig at the O2. I can literally walk 5 minutes from my house and I get to be in front of an incredible artist.
So the first thing I did was to say to them, look, I'm going to have people round. We're going to have some not very loud music, but it will be from this time till this time. Are you okay with that? And they all said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. And I've invited some of them and they've come and really enjoyed it.
Leonie May Cooper is a writer from the NME and is passionate about small music venues. But with so many of them closing down, she's come to Kent to see if there's a future in even smaller venues.
This is not the type of place I would normally go to a gig, no. Normally they're much more kind of venue-shaped and larger sized. This is quite small and quite residential.
Oh my God, the enemy are coming to my house gig! I feel very middle-aged actually. It's like, I used to read that when I was 16 and it feels really strange that there's going to be a journalist talking about the future of music and rock and roll in living rooms and I'm essentially their mum.
With over 20 people crammed into a front room, it's time for the gig to begin. These gigs are important for rising artists like Clea and a chance to test out new songs that might not have been heard by a live audience before.
Bone Dry is a song from my early 20s.
So where does the inspiration for her music come from?
I had to take a part-time job in a well-known lap dancing club in London. My role was like a security person. This makes the people seem lonely. It was so hard and it was like working nights. I didn't enjoy the job at all. I'd been moaning to my friends and they said, why don't you just write a song about it? So I did, and it came out in like literally 5 seconds. The song was written, and it's just a song about that, and I always dedicate it to people who hate their jobs.
With the lack of other places for professionals to perform, is this the future for grassroots gigs?
I think it's a great idea that people are having gigs in their own living rooms. If people want to keep live music alive, you have to go to more than 1 or 2 gigs a year. You have to go to gigs at small venues. You have to go to gigs at grassroots venues that are run by local people who love music. Things are being done to stop the closures. There is the Music Venue Trust, who are sort of the English heritage for gig venues.
The MVT is a charity set up 3 years ago to combat the closures. So what do they think about the idea of house gigs?
Any opportunity for artists to be able to share their music in somewhere where the audience have got space, where they've got reasonable sound, there's a respect for what they're doing, is really valuable. If that's in someone's home, that's really great. I mean, basically what we don't like is performers stuck in a corner in a pub or something where everybody's ignoring them.
But Beverly doesn't think we should all start rearranging our furniture just yet.
I think my concern with home gigs is people are more likely to do it for a shorter time and then perhaps get frustrated with the struggle and move on to something else. So you've got to have opportunities that you can count on, and as far as we're concerned, they're best represented at the moment by the network of grassroots music venues.
But maybe the reason house gigs work is because they can offer something special to both audience and artist that few other venues can.
I tend to advertise these word of mouth, invite only, to bring people together for a real life experience. The audience are really attentive for the musician, and the musician is completely focused on the audience. So you have a real intimacy that you don't get in any other size venue.
Clea's gig comes to an end. So how did she go down with the Eccles crowd?
It was amazing. Clea's amazing. You can tell that everyone was just absolutely enraptured with her.
Absolutely loved it, babe. Thank you so much.
Everyone was really listening. There was no kind of chatting or the noise of a bar. And to play in that kind of a setting is immense.
That was one of the loveliest evenings I've had in a while. And what was really nice about that was it showed what a kind of community hub that is, as well as being a gig venue. It's a place where people can get together, share ideas, share thoughts, and that's what small venues are all about.
What this gig in Eccles shows is that the appetite for a vibrant local music scene is still alive, even if the places to perform are becoming few and far between.
Staying in is the new going out, and rock and roll isn't dead, it just comes with a cup of tea and an early night now.